Alright guys, and welcome back to the Don's channel. I am the Donfather and this is hashtag AFL car chat. Really happy to be back doing the car chat. It's been a while. I've been doing chair chats, as you may already know. I'm just going to do a quick roundup, and it will be quick. I'm not going to go into too much detail about any of the games. Round 13 it was, started on Friday night Australia time, Friday morning here for me. Adelaide Crows versus Richmond. It was a home win, 101-68. Richmond are really struggling, aren't they, right now of late? And the Crows, I think they needed a bit of a win, the Crows. Eddie Betts was phenomenal again. Some of the stuff that he does, he just dances around players. Not by any means was he the man of the match, but just the way he moves past people. Pocket rocket, literally. It is what it says it is. He gets into the pocket and he is a rocket. He just creates something out of nothing. He's probably one of the few players in the AFL that can turn nothing into something. He's an absolute pleasure to watch. So he stood out in that game for me. Really enjoyable game. On to Saturday morning here, Saturday early afternoon, I presume, in Australia. Essendon Bombers versus the Hawks. Home win, 96-77. The Hawks never... There's something going wrong there. I can't work out what it is. I think that's a few defeats now in the last few weeks. They're not playing great stuff anyway. But the Bombers thoroughly did deserve the win. The talking point of this match will be, of course, the pinching incidents. I think, what's his name? Stratton. He's pinching. He's a big boy. I don't know why he needs to feel, or sorry, he feels the need to be pinching at someone. It's quite embarrassing, really. What frustrated me about watching this was the umpires are standing there literally from, like, a metre away, literally watching it all unfold and watching constant pinching, and they're not breaking it up and stopping them. And I understand there's after match disciplinaries and there's no sending us off, etc. But unless you're going to protect people on the field of play, I would actually go as far as to say retaliation should be okay. The umpire doesn't see it, fair enough, but the umpire's standing there and he's doing nothing about it. You're going to say to the umpire, are you going to do something about this? Are you going to stop this? And if they're not going to stop it, I'm going to smack him. But it encourages a retaliation. It's a dirty doing. I hope they throw the book at him. Pinching something little girls do. It's very, very embarrassing. It's embarrassing for the fans that support that club. I understand you're trying to get underneath the opposition player's skin, but there's better ways to do it. It looks quite feminine and really embarrassing stuff there. So hopefully he gets a big fine. I think they counted about 10 bruises on the Essendon player's arm, which just goes to show how long he was doing it in the game and how petulant it was throughout. So hopefully he gets the book through him anyway, and he's very lucky he wasn't going home with broken nose or something like that as well. Gold Coast versus St Kilda. This is probably one of the first times I've watched Gold Coast in a full match. It was actually quite an enjoyable game. It was quite scrappy. There wasn't a lot between the two teams in the end up. 76-80 to St Kilda. They did deserve the win in my opinion. They had a little bit more quality in the final 50, the opposition's 50. Big tackles in it as well. Scrappy game. Not a lot to report really, but I did enjoy it because it's two teams that haven't really covered an awful lot. St Kilda needed a win really. I think that'll boost their confidence. Gold Coast, the Suns haven't really been doing too well either. Two teams of a fairly similar standard going into that game, and St Kilda come away with the win, so congratulations to them. Dockers Power was our game that I was really looking forward to. Dockers have been in fine form. They really are very much a last quarter team. Fourth quarter, they seem to come alive. If it's tight into the third going into the fourth, that's when the Dockers come alive. They seem to find that little bit more gas in the tank to go out and see out the victory, and that's exactly what happened here. Power were in it for a while. There was a great match-up between Nat Fyfe, of course, one of the favourites for the Brownlow. Fantastic player, isn't he? And Boak, who's a fantastic player for Power. Great match-up. I would probably give it to Nat Fyfe based on the final quarter. I think the Dockers really shone there, and took the game by the scruff of the neck and went out and won it. It did finish 100-79 in favour of the Dockers. My man of the match actually was Michael Walters. Absolutely sensational kicking. Probably one of the best in-form forwards right now in the game. He's really much a pleasure to watch. So the Dockers actually didn't need to leave it till nearly the last kick of the game, and Michael Waters didn't need to step up for that, but he did step up throughout the game, and they thoroughly deserved the win. Commiserations to Power, because they are playing good stuff as well. But the Dockers very much seem to be a team on the rise. Just watch the space. They could do something. You never know. Carlton Bulldogs was probably the game of the weekend, and I actually never watched it live. I've seen the highlights, I've read quite a bit of match reviews and stuff on it. The reason being, Charlie Curnow, probably my player of the weekend, kicked 7 goals, and still ended up in the losing side. Hard lines to him. He is a really, really good player. I've watched him now for a couple of weeks and thoroughly enjoyed watching him, along with some others. I won't mention them because I feel like I'm constantly rabbiting on about these other players, but he deserves all the credit he gets here. 7 goals for the weekend, my star man of the weekend, and still ends up in the losing side. Bulldogs have shown a bit of desire here. It finished 100-103 to the Bulldogs, and in fairness, the Bulldogs have actually been playing some gritty stuff. They do actually roll their sleeves up and get on with it. Sometimes the quality of the other teams just shine through, and they get beat, but they definitely do try their best, and they are entertainment value as well. So they've deserved the win there, 103. They've pretty much controlled it through. I don't think there was a time where they've been behind in the game, to my knowledge. I think they did, and Carlton fought back, and then they've took a bit more of a lead, and Carlton have fought back. That kind of way the game panned out. But Bulldogs have got the win in an away game, so if you can call it an away game, it's at the Marvel Stadium where they play their home games as well. So it's not really an away game, but as such. But yes, they've got the away win, which will give them a little bit of confidence, because I actually do feel they're playing some good stuff. Naughton's a player I like. There's a couple others in there as well that I like. I've been watching closely. So that's how that one finished. Carlton, unfortunately, got their win, and you're thinking, can they go on a bit of a run? They play some really, really exceptional stuff. There's some fantastic young players, and if they can keep these young players together for going into the next year, who knows what could happen, because they're coming of age right at the one time together. Carlton could be a team to watch if they can keep those players together, but it's a big if. Going into Sunday's game, last game of the weekend, North Melbourne versus GWS Giants, and it was a thriller for loads of reasons. Main reason being, I love a big hitting game. There was huge hits in this game, very physical. Nobody was what to pull out of any challenge, which I love, because a true man never pulls out, which is my trademark saying for the AFL. It did finish in a Giants win. I thought they were probably the best team throughout, if I'm being blatantly honest. They did deserve their win, particularly in the last half of the game, the second half of the game. Third quarter, very much dominated, and first 10 minutes of the fourth, they very much stamped their authority on it and saw out the victory. They'd done enough. Of course, there was a bit of consolation goals near the end for North Melbourne, but it was too little too late. There was a couple of poor misses in this as well, in the third and fourth for North Melbourne. In front of the sticks, I would have expected them to kick it. Their best player was probably Thomas, I think. It was a good game. Taranto and Green were the two main players in this game for me. I called it Green to begin with, and then reading the stats, as you've seen in my review from yesterday's game, it probably was Taranto man of the match in that one. But huge hits. Absolutely loved the spirit the game was played in. It was played in Tasmania, and from start to finish, two fully committed teams. It was great to see the big man Mumford playing. He's a bit slow. I think he's back from injury, but he is a big unit and a big target man, isn't he? He seems to just gather up everything that goes on around him. So that's good going into coming up to the knockout stages. It'll be a good thing seeing him back because he is an influential player there. Some great individual performances, but a thoroughly deserved team win, I think, from the Giants. Even when they weren't getting big kicks up to the forwards and making good marks, they were finding other ways to score, down through the pocket, down the boundary line, just making space for themselves and getting goals out of absolutely nothing. Caniglio, I think you call him, he did really well. He's another player that deserves a mention. The old stager, I believe he's an older player, so congratulations to him for getting a few goals there. But overall, a great team performance more so than any individual stuff from the Giants, but Toronto man of the match there. Great weekend of fixtures. A great advert again for the sport, played in the committed spirit as it always is. No real major upsets as such. No, not really. I think you probably could have predicted most of the results if you're going by form overall this year. You could probably have predicted most of those results, but very good weekend for the game. I enjoyed it and I'm looking forward to round 14 already. I can't wait. I wish they played more midweek fixtures so I could get on it straight away and watch them because I'm thoroughly enjoying it. If anybody's got anything else they'd like to see me talk about or react to, please feel free to drop a comment in the section below as always, and check out my Donlow medal competition. I've got a video, Brownlow medal. Check it out, guys. I want you all to play a part in it. It's just for a bit of fun, and we'll see who will be the overall winner of the Donlow medal, which is kind of similar to the Brownlow, but it's the Don's channel Donlow medal. We'll give it to the overall best player this year, as voted for by my subscribers and viewers and myself, all playing it together and picking the best player of this year. So check it out. Thanks very much anyway. Don't forget to subscribe and put the notifications bell on as well. And if you can check out my Patreon's page and possibly become a patron, that would be fantastic too. Cheers, guys. See you soon.